One of the first classes I have with students is to teach them about systems thinking. And I show them a video of a murmuration of starlings, these wonderful birds that fly in incredible patterns through the sky. Each bird is actually responding to the 7 birds closest around it and adjusting its flight path according to that. I think it's a wonderful metaphor for the way that financial markets work, for the way that many dynamics in the economic, social and political world work, because no one can predict how these birds are going to move in the sky. And to me, it's the emergent property that happens when the birds are interacting with one another. It's that emergence that makes complex systems so fascinating and so utterly unpredictable. I think every study of economics should start with one question, and it's a question that was missing in my own education, and I know it's still missing today. It's the question of purpose. What is the economy for? Because if we don't understand what the economy is for and what success looks like, we don't even know what we're studying and what we're trying to achieve. Well, I was always really frustrated that I was taught market thinking devoid of any mention of the living world. It wasn't clear from day one that the economy is a subset of the living world. The living world in mainstream economics is referred to, if you want to talk about damage to the living world, climate breakdown, biodiversity loss, there are just 2 words: environmental externalities. Now, to me, when we're talking about the breakdown of the living world as an externality, well, that's already an alarm signal that the theory falls far short of what it needs to cover. It's too small to address all of the issues that actually matter. We need a bigger starting point. If we want to ask, what does success look like? I know it sounds silly, but I think it looks a bit like a donut. So imagine a donut with a hole in the middle. In the hole in the middle, that's a place where people fall short on life's essentials like food, healthcare, education, housing, access to electricity, political voice, gender equality. These are the essentials of well-being that every person has a claim to. They're rooted in human rights, and we need them so that we can all lead lives of dignity, of opportunity and community. So you want nobody left in the donut's hole in the middle, but into the donut itself. But, and it's a very big but, we also can't overshoot the outer edge of this donut, because there we put so much pressure on this extraordinary, unique, delicately balanced living planet that we begin to kick it out of balance. We cause climate breakdown, we acidify the oceans, catastrophic levels of biodiversity loss, and we push ourselves over these planetary boundaries, risking the fundamental life-supporting systems that keep humanity well. So in the simplest of terms, in this donut, we need to meet the needs of all, within the means of the planet. So I like to go to the root of the word economics. It literally means ekos nomos, household management. How should we be managing our home? If you don't have a clear purpose of what you're doing, you can very easily get a false purpose slip into its place. And I think that's what's happened with economics. Because economists were keen to show that their discipline was a science. And to make it more like a science, they had to remove any mention of goals or any explicit discussion of values. Of course, they're actually implicitly embedded in the conversation anyway. But there was a desire to make it seem value-free. And into that vacuum of a goal slips the desire to create unending GDP growth. It became, over the last 70 years, it became the de facto goal of economics. When I speak to students today, I often say, what's the first diagram you learn in economics? And across the world, the answer's the same: supply and demand. As if to say, on day one of economics, the economy is essentially the market, and the market's in equilibrium. Well, that's 2 untruths in one sentence. I don't think it's a good place to start a degree. And I think it marginalizes and turns into externalities many of the fundamentals of life. So we should start in a completely different place. Can we not learn from nature to create economies that could also thrive? Because in nature, nothing grows forever. Growth is this wonderful, healthy phase, but from your children's feet to the Amazon forest, things grow and then they grow up and they mature and they come to thrive, and they can thrive for a very long time. But we've created economies that have to grow and grow and grow. No matter how rich a country already is, it seems the solution to its problems is more growth. Nothing in nature succeeds this way. In fact, in our own bodies, we understand that when something tries to grow forever, we call that cancer, and we recognize that that is a dangerous form of growth. because it's growing forever within a healthy living system, and it has to be stopped.